Hey everybody, it's Midlands Gives Day, and I am here with Shannon Henry, the president and founder of SASS Go. Hi, Shannon.
Hello, Lisa.
So, Shannon, I wanted to bring you into the Midlands Gives Zoom room so that we could talk a little bit more about what SASS Go is doing right now. And one of the exciting things as we've been able to get back into the classroom and start doing some of our in-person classes, which has been fantastic. But one of the exciting things is we've also been able to do so much virtual education.
Yes.
So we've trained in university communities at the University of Georgia, University of South Carolina, University of Utah. Last year, we were able to train with women and girls in South Africa and also organizations serving survivors. And we're thrilled that through this virtual education, we've been able to reach so many individuals. And I was hoping that you could just talk more about the substance of that program and also the impact that you see it has.
Sure. And, it's crazy now that you say all of those things that as we look at this, really the pivotal moment for us as an organization was COVID. The very thing that took so many of us out of our normal day-to-day routines so quickly that we collectively endured also served to strengthen our ability to serve people in a capacity that we probably never would have imagined we would be in, and especially not to this level. So it's been an honor and a joy to watch it unfold and then to be part of it for sure. And just to answer your question about what does that look like for us, if we're talking about the main course that we've been teaching so much of, it's the 10 critical skills to save your life. And it sounds pretty important, doesn't it? And it is. And so as we teach that course, there's several things, and I made a quick list so that I didn't, leave the big important things out. Obviously, there's little details in between all of these. But when you do the course, one of the very first things that we make sure to articulate to the students that we're working with are, that they're worth fighting for. Because over time, we've found that until you truly, truly believe that, sometimes it's hard to stand up for yourself. Even advocating when your salad or your burger is wrong sometimes is hard for us. So we encourage people to speak up and advocate for themselves. And part of the way that you instill that in people is by reminding them that they are strong and loved and capable and here for a purpose, and that there'll never be another them on the planet, and we need them here. So they're worth fighting for. But even after that, we teach them just how capable their body is of standing up for themselves, fighting for themselves if they have to. And we teach them the body's response to fear, that freeze moment that everybody's afraid of, that does exist, but is meant to be used to actually protect you. And it's a really cool thing when you unpack that and figure out, hey, wait a minute, all this adrenaline is meant to do all these incredible things so that I can run and jump and get away and do whatever I have to do to make sure that my life is safe. Then on top of that, we, teach them how to use that to their advantage, but also to assess way before they ever have to use something like that, what's a favorable situation versus an unfavorable situation? And if I can avoid an unfavorable situation, great. But if I can't avoid it, what can I do to mitigate risk? And that can be something as simple as going for a run. The safest place for us is in the security of our own home for most of us. And so if you're not going to stay in your home to run, or you're not going to go to a gym, and you do decide to go out, what are some little ways that you can make sure that it's safer? Whether it's, just from, making sure that you go for a run with somebody during the daytime, all the way to like, what should I carry with me? What kind of things should I be thinking about as I go? So we go through all those things in a wide variety of scenarios that are useful for everyday life. But then on top of that, we teach the 5 top predatory tactics. So one of the things that we are super passionate about is making sure that women and girls in this little secret club of ours understand how to see a risk, how to assess a threat, and then what to do to neutralize it, whether that's running and getting away from it, whether it's bringing somebody into the fold to make sure that somebody's there to help you. It just depends on the scenario. So walking through those is important. And then knowing the top 5 ways that people get and keep our attention is so critical. And you'll hear girls afterwards say, oh my gosh, I was just somewhere the other day and somebody started using forced teaming, or they started charming me, and I knew that that was a predatory tactic. And those are the returns on investment that we see, along with the confidence that's instilled in these girls. And I think a lot of times family, friends, even us as individuals worry, okay, if I take a class like this, am I going to be scared to death then when I'm done out in the world? And the fact is, we find over and over again, it's the opposite. You feel confident because you know how to control your environment better and see things coming. And then you have a plan for what to do if all of those things are surpassed and you know, danger shows up at your doorstep and you have to take care of business. So that's for the most part what we teach. We also in that class share with women and girls what to do if a friend does come to you and says that they've been sexually assaulted, or they've been in a relationship that was unkind, or they've recognized or seen or been a part of human trafficking. And then how to talk to that friend. We give them the skills of the things to say, things not to say. And then on top of it, the resources to give that friend to offer information and support, which is what we're all about. So that's what I've seen through this. It's been, like I said, pivotal, and just really valuable for not only us to see what it's doing in their lives, but also knowing that there's these people running around out there that feel safer and are safer because of what they know.
Yeah. One of the things that I have heard you say and really appreciate is we want people to be prepared, not paranoid.
That's
and this
it.
class truly does prepare you,
It does.
whether it's from strangers or from maybe people that you know. It prepares you. So thank you. And it's exciting because we've seen, as we've been doing more of these classes, we're getting requests for more, and even from businesses in the area, more schools. And so it is, like you say, a silver lining that's been able to grow from something that, you know, possibly we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So yay.
You're exactly right. And whether it's, you know, all the private schools that now are calling, or the Fortune 500 business that, you know, we're getting ready to train with, it's all working to create a community that knows what to do, recognizes patterns that can be, you know, unfavorable, and then responds with all the capabilities that they have to not only safeguard themselves, but their environment and the people that are around them. It's a beautiful thing. It's fun to pass along.
So Shannon, you know, the other service that we offer, in addition to our in-person self-defense classes and our educational programming, is crisis response consulting. And one of the things that I love about being a part of SASS Go is we see issues and then we bring people together to try and solve them. And one of those areas that SASS has been working in is trying to solve the issue of drug-facilitated crimes. And I would love for you to talk a little bit more about how that issue came to your attention, and then the work that SASS Go is doing to help alleviate.
Sure. So drug-facilitated crime is a crime, you know, involuntary druggings, people getting drugs in their drinks or things like that, has been occurring for quite some time. It's not a new method of taking someone out, but it certainly is a disturbing one. As a professor at the University of South Carolina, there were a lot of girls that were coming forward and sharing with me their experiences, or someone else that they knew experiencing something like that locally here in our area. And so it was disturbing, to say the least. And we alerted the proper people to let them know that we thought this was, an increase in this crime at a significant level. But it wasn't until I collected the actual data in just a Google form, because I knew that girls would fill out a Google form in like 2.4 seconds. So it wasn't until, though, that data started coming in that I recognized that in the past 90 or so days, there had been about 300 reports from girls saying that, and some guys too, saying that they felt like and suspected that they were drugged in our area. And so that clearly was something that was just off the charts. From there, we wanted to do everything that we could as an organization to make sure that, again, everybody has the information they need to safeguard our community. We know that our community is made up of passionate people doing a great job in the fields that they work in. And we contacted the people that would be, working with these potential victims of this crime, got a group together. It's our critical incident response team to drug facilitated crime. And those teams get together to try to solve the issues that surround the crime. And then we move on and make sure that everything is still flowing. But then, once that's done, we dissolve unless we need to come back together. But we're still working right now. And it's been so great to work with Prisma Health and with Richland County Sheriff's Department and with Columbia Police Department, as well as SLED, and especially, our crime lab, to make sure that everything's in place that needs to be done, when these things happen, from recognizing that it is a drug facilitated crime and not just an over intoxicated individual, all the way to the aftercare of, do they want to charge, because it is a felony in South Carolina. So do they want to press charges? What does that look like? Is our crime lab prepared to take in that information? And how do we process it? Who pays for it? So all of these things had to be talked about and discovered. And we brought the team together to do that. And it's been such a beautiful highlight of just and a showcase of our community and their willingness to come together to solve this for our community, to, again, safeguard our people. Yep.
Yeah. And one of the things I've heard you talk about is often these crimes, for a whole host of reasons, go unreported.
They do.
And so as we are developing these systems and these standards, really raising education in the community as well, so that survivors of these crimes will come forward and can get the services and the help that they need. And then our law enforcement can make sure that they are able to stop the crimes from happening. So
that's right.
I think it's a really great thing that we've been able to do. And it's right here in the Midlands. Unfortunately, those 300 you're talking about are happening right here in Columbia. And
that's right. That's right. And around our state as well. But we are the first team that we know of that's really proactively working with doctors and paramedics and law enforcement and, SLED and crime labs and forensics to make sure that we know how to process this, because it is, it's fairly new that all these people would come together to try to solve this together and streamline the process, both for the agency that's working on it, but also for the victim, so that the process is not as cumbersome as it can be. So it's been an honor to work on that. And as we roll this out, and soon, within the next few months, we look forward to sharing it with other communities within the state. And it's been a real privilege. And I think everybody that's been working on this is very proud of the work that we've all put in to make sure that we're safeguarding our community.
SASS Go is growing, and we know that there is such a demand for the work that we do, and we are working hard to make sure that we meet that need, meet that demand. As you look over the next years, you look at where we've come from and where we are going, how is the support of the community, how is it involved in that effort? Why is that support critical?
This is a community organization, period. The way that we have spread from just a woman who wanted to make sure that her kids and the kids that she hung out with and her kids hung out with, and that the, school children that I taught, all the way to the teachers that I was around, and just my neighbors and my friends, and even my own mother and niece and family members, had what they needed to make sure that they stayed safe, has, ultimately spread because each of those people shared it with another person that said, I want that too. I want that too. And so as the community has poured into our organization, whether it was by spreading the message about what we're doing, or actually donating their time or their resources to what we're doing, we find over and over that every single gift that they give, and time is a gift, resources are a gift, sharing the message is a gift, every single gift that they give grows us exponentially to reach even more women and girls to make sure they have what they need to stay safe. And so as we look forward to the next year, or even 5 years down the road, I would love to see that we have a space where we go and it's our home base, and we train women and girls out of there. We work with law enforcement. We meet in our own meeting space would be incredible. And bringing in the teams like we do right here in our own backyard to solve problems, but not only to solve problems, just continue to fortify the community by making sure everybody's aware of what's going on and has the skills that they need to ensure that they are doing what they can to keep themselves safe. And then, like we always say, and if something breaks through all those barriers, making sure that they additionally have the skills to neutralize the threat. So I would love to see a future where we have a building and we are, not only training our community, but training new instructors, because as you know, we have officially trained in 18 states, and that includes plus DC, I should say. But we also have 24 licensed instructors across the United States. Well, the more we multiply them, the more people we reach throughout the country and the world. And so we're just excited with every single bit of time and money and resources that come into us. It's exponentially grown, and it becomes just little seeds that bear fruit all over the country, all over the world. And so we're just looking forward to taking everything that everybody has to give and using it for the betterment of our community to safeguard it.
And Shannon, one of the beautiful things about our SASS community is those who have taken the class want to give so that they can make sure other women and girls, where it might not be in the budget, that they will be able to receive SASS Go services too. So I think the last time I looked at the numbers, we were up to nearly 60% of women and girls and participants in our SASS programs and services have been for a free or reduced cost. And I know that's something that SASSers are really proud of, that they're able to take that same, or what I love seeing them and so proud of our SASSers is that they receive the skills and they want to make sure that those skills are given to
That's right. And our instructors give back over and over again too. So not only is it the community, but it's the very people that are the heartbeat of SASS Go that are giving it the pulse to keep it going to the people that need it most, which is the whole reason I started the nonprofit, to make sure that everybody had access to these skills, not just the people that could afford it. So it's been an amazing ride. And so I'm just excited for anything that comes in. I know that it'll be used for good. It always is, and for the betterment of our communities. And that's exciting.